Okay, just ticked over to 12:15, so we'll get started. Welcome to the June virtual user group. For today, we're going to go over some questions since the last user group, mainly around strong passwords. So Patty's going to go through the rationale and the plan going forward, and we need some input from everybody. We'll go through some updates from the last month's user group. We'll go over the tip of the month regarding importing from Excel. This will be super important to remember when importing scripts. And then just a recap of the TransIT education if we have time. So Patty, if you're there, do you want to go over the strong password information?
Sure. Recently, we added in password configuration options on the users page. And when we did, it included requiring the use of numbers and special characters, and it didn't require upper and lowercase. And so I was asked about that recently. And the reason for that is because when we did the code around the configuration, we realized we had always been converting all of the passwords to uppercase. So regardless of what a user has set their password in, for example, if they set it as capital T, small r, a, n, cap S, capital IT, we just converted it to TransIT in all uppercase. So because of that, we realized that if we move to strong passwords, including requiring a certain number of upper and lower case, or requiring there to be both upper and lower case, that what would happen is no one would be able to sign on. No one would know that their password had always been converted to uppercase, and no one would know to do that. So to move to strong passwords, which we do need to do, and I'm sure everyone would agree that we need to do it, we need to do it in a coordinated fashion. What we'll need to do is make sure that we coordinate with each of the admins for each site to make sure that they don't get locked out. So they could set their password to be something in all uppercase, or in worst case, if they do get locked out, we do it in a coordinated fashion. So we have people available to help with password reset. So when the code is ready to be moved in, and we're anticipating doing this during the summer, towards the end of the summer. So realizing that most people do less heavy project work in the summer when people are off on vacation, we figured that was the best time to do it. We are looking for feedback from all of the admins, though. So we would do it towards the end of the summer. We would do it on a specific date. We would move the code in, and then the admins would sign on. The password configuration will remain optional. So each site administrator determines what they want that configuration to be. So you may decide you don't want to require upper and lower, or, put in whatever configuration you like. Once you put in whatever configuration you like, you would then need to reset everyone's password, and you can use that selecting all the users at once and right-click, shifting and resetting the password, and then notifying all of your users to sign on and change their password. So that's the long and the short of it. Does anybody have any specific questions?
Hey, Patty, this is Brian. I did have a question.
Sure.
When we send out to all the users to reset their password, I assume they'll need to recall what their current password is to do that?
No, that's the beauty. That's what we're suggesting. Instead, we're suggesting that you set it to something. So for example, you set it to capital T, R, A, N, S, capital I, T, 1, 2, 3 asterisk or something like that, right? So whatever you make your new configuration requirements, you choose something that meets those requirements, you set it to that, and you send it out to all users saying, this is your current TransIT password. Please sign on and reset your password to something. And this is, and you should tell them what the configuration options you've changed it to be are.
That's perfect, because a lot of people don't interact with TransIT regularly and forget anyway. So
exactly. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, then I'll turn it back over to Travis.
Perfect. I'm just going to launch a quick poll just to gauge the interest on what month specifically suits your site the best. So it should pop up on your screen now. Okay, I'll give everyone just a little bit longer to fill out their response. It's looking like September is probably the winner. Okay, so we can move on.
Travis, I am going to
yep.
I'm going to reach out by email to the rest of the admins who weren't on today. So I agree, it looks like September's the winner, but let's wait till we get all the admins to reply, okay?
Definitely. Once we get information back, feedback from the other admins, we'll let everyone know the plan and timing, things like that. In regards to updates since our last meeting, we fixed a description and comments field in the plans, adding a new plan to be a text area. So now you can resize those two boxes, which I'll show. Exciting news for scripts, we've re-enabled sections in your functional test scripts. So any data that you had in those section columns before TransIT 7 went live will still be there. Unfortunately, any new content that you've created since we went live in TransIT 7 will need to be updated. You can now add individual sections to each of your script steps. And when you use the add module or add workflow icon, you can add sections to those when you put them in. So that'll save you a little bit of time. We also did a little bit of cleaning up in terms of putting in type into or we changed the gear icon and changed it to type just to make it a little bit clearer, when you're selecting the type of script that you're looking for. And then we added a type heading into the add scripts page. It basically went on below the drop-down boxes, so it kind of creates a section for cleaner and easier viewing. In regards to testing, I'll show you the sections when we go into a functional test script. We'll add a test script as well. We've just cleaned up a few of the wordings when you add test round. We did change the name of some of the words from category to type, and there's a really cool feature now. You can search and filter on categories of your test scripts. So I'll be able to show you that as well. We also fixed the URL in text messages. So you can actually click on that URL now when you get notified by SMS and log in and be able to execute your test steps. Does anyone have any questions on any of those updates? The tip of the month, this will be most important when you do functional test scripts now because the template has changed to include sections. So we just want to remind everyone that column headers need to match exactly to what is displayed in TransIT. So we always recommend to download a template from TransIT and then copy and paste your information in there. The other really important item is to do with function or formatting of special characters. TransIT 7 does take special characters, but we do still recommend that you remove as many special characters as you can, just to ensure that the data is imported correctly and you don't have any funkiness going on. We still haven't been able to pinpoint which special characters cause any issues, but just to be on the safe side, you should remove all your special characters.
Can I add one thing to that, Travis?
Yep.
For sites who did a lot of functional test script development since TransIT 7 was started, a good thing to do if the section information, if you put it into the module column, a good thing to do is to just export the script, copy and paste from that column over into the sections column, and then import it in. That would be the fastest way to catch that up.
Yep.
Quick question.
Let's jump over.
This is Brian. Is this applicable to plans? Same thing?
For
which part
the
of it?
sections?
Importing an Excel plan?
Yeah, so we always recommend that you export, and Travis is probably going to show this, you export from the plan and then get the columns right and then import back in. Because of custom columns, you know, if you customize, you absolutely have to do that, or you won't be able to import back into the plan. Or were you asking something different, Brian?
No, it just was only specifically mentioning test scripts. So I just wanted to validate it was applicable to plans.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just because of the fact that we added the sections back in. That's why Travis is specifically referring to that this month.
Just in case you have a template saved somewhere. So we'll go through some of the updates. So as I mentioned, when you go to add a new plan here, you can now increase the size of your description box and your comment box as well. So if you have a long description and you want to see what you have written, you can resize it. Fairly straightforward fix, but obviously if you have a longer description, then it's a little bit hard to see. So we've fixed that up for everybody. Moving over to the script section, in terms of the changes and updates, you can see here that there's no longer a gear icon. We did have some people confuse the gear icon with scenario-based scripts, so we've just changed it to type, just to make it a little bit easier for everyone to understand. And when you add a test script, just here we've added the word type. So these two options here were pretty close to the project. So we've just separated it to make it a little bit easier for people to through this section here. In terms of sections, when we go into a example that I've created for everybody, you'll see here that the column here is sections. So prior to the sections going in, if you exported to Excel, this column wouldn't be here. So that's why I just highlighted the fact that you would need to download a new template for functional test scripts, just so that it has that section column in. So you can see here, I've just created some examples of different sections to go through. The really neat thing is if you go up to here and you click add step, it'll pre-populate the section based on the last section of your last step here. So if this last step didn't have a section, when you hit add step, it would come up as blank, but it just saves a little bit of typing here and remembering what section you're at. So if you use your add step, add workflow and add module. If we go in and add a module, we can select a position and a facility. And then the module we can add in. And then if we wanted to add a section to it, we can just add it in. And you'll see down here that it's already automatically added each of those rows. That section has been added schedule. It's the same as a workflow. And I'm just picking anything in terms of the facility. And again, you can type in anything that you'd like here, or you can type in your workflow number. Forward imaging, click save. And you can see here it's brought in the workflow and then any section that I've typed in here. If you did want to change the section, you made a mistake, you can just highlight all of that workflow, right click and hit change section. You'll see here that it's changed all the sections here. So you can do that for one step or you can do it for multiple steps. Does anyone have any questions on sections for functional test scripts? All right, we'll move over to the tab. So when we go into adding a test round, we've just cleaned the wording up on the top here. Because we have category now inside TransIT, it was just a little confusing when it said select the same category. So we've changed it to type, and then the type up here has been changed. The really cool feature and use categories to easily sort your test scripts is now you can filter through and sort through by category. I know Patty's very happy about and excited about having this. So let's say we wanted to try and find my script that I just had. You can see here, June Vug. If you have hundreds and hundreds of scripts, you've now got another option to sort and be able to find those test scripts a little bit easier. So we're going to go ahead and add this one in. And when we go in here, you'll see that the sections are now preloaded into the test script and broken up for everybody. So there's the schedule that we added in and then the copy at the end there. Does anyone have any questions on sections or questions in general that I can show you and help you?